Hey y'all, welcome to Eagle Talk.
Hey.
We are back with a hilarious episode today.
Y'all, we look, sometimes you just look over your life and you're like, what? And this episode is going to be funny, but also provide some like vulnerability and honesty for other entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs. But before we get into it, we have a couple of asks for you.
We do. We need you guys to pretty please like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, y'all share. We are so excited. Our download numbers are going up. We're seeing more engagement. And honestly, we just love doing this. We love the Eagle Talk community. And speaking of the Eagle Talk community, listen, if you are not already a part of Eagle Talk with Team Lewis, the Facebook page, we're going to put the link to join in the description box. We are over 1,000 people. Was that your hand putting it out? We are over 1,000 people strong there, and we share tips. You can sign up for just private events, masterclasses, and we have a lot of fun things coming up that you want to be a part of.
Yeah, the first masterclass, if you guys missed it, was with Latasha Johnson. She talked about starting an Airbnb. Really good information. Tasha did her thing.
Yeah, she did her thing. And we're going to have monthly private masterclasses, different events, but you have to be connected. So thank you again. Truly, thank you to everyone who is just checking in with us, and share this episode. If you know, I was talking to my girl, Mishla, and her son, Isaiah. What up, boo? He is like a little kid and already showing, wait, I better put some respect on his age. Yeah, Isaiah about 12.
Yeah. So, he's almost a teen.
Almost a teen. He's a young man, but he's already showing a lot of entrepreneurial what do we call it? Entrepreneurial characteristics. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah. And Corey and I are going to share our journey. And looking back, it's like, hey, we always had it in us. So if you know someone who is an entrepreneur, the path isn't always straight, go ahead and share this episode with us. Comment in the comments. Let us know what you think about it. And let's get to telling our story.
Yeah, and shout out to Isaiah because he is a advocate. He's what do you call it? He's
an avid Eagle Talk watcher.
Yeah, for sure. He's always watching.
Look, because ain't nobody watching Isaiah watch it.
That's right. That's right. All right, well, let's let the people know that the path to entrepreneurship is not always straight. And we have some things we just discussed that we probably forgot about. A lot of them. Yeah, that we have went through together.
So ironically, I was listening to one of the podcasts that I listened at, Gold Digger by Jenna Kutcher, I think her name is. And she just gave, she was talking about in her 10 years of being an entrepreneur working for herself, what that has looked like. And I know for myself and for Corey, a lot of times what they say, it may take 20 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people will look at you and say, oh, power couple, or if you're not married, there are a lot of women entrepreneurs, male entrepreneurs. It looks like you just blinked and they just blew up, or things just start clicking. Yeah. And we are here to tell you that it is a big, hard no.
Yeah, I think at least for me and you, I can speak for, we have had a lot of failures before we actually got to the success. A lot of things we did for a short time frame when we realized that they weren't working.
Yeah.
And until we kind of found our path and found out what was working.
Yeah. So Corey and I were just really sitting here, and like I said, like Isaiah, we figured out we kind of had a little entrepreneur gem in us before we even met when we were in elementary school. So for me, I was thinking when's the first time that I think I've always shown different leadership skills in my family and with my friends. But the first time that I was really thinking okay, I can flip something to make some money off of it. So there was a bakery. I grew up in Chicago, and on 79th Street, 79th and Elizabeth to be exact, if you at the corner, there used to be a bakery called Moore's Bakery. And Moore's Bakery, y'all, was the bomb. They had the best donuts. It was so good. I miss them. I probably still haven't had a donut that good. And when they came out with donut holes, which Dunkin' Donuts then started making them and called them Munchkins, but they were nothing like Moore's Bakeries. When they came out with donut holes, it was like the world opened up. And I got the bright idea. So donut holes, you used to buy a bag of 10. They were 5 cents each, but they sold them in a bag for 50 cents. So I was like, okay, I had to pass Moore's Bakery every single day on my way to work or on my way to school. a lot of kids in my classroom didn't go that way, but they were so enamored, like, what's up with these donut holes? So I decided I was going to sell mine for 6 cents a donut hole. So I would go to the store, y'all, but I saw singles. Like, I was almost like a
They was coming to school with 6 pennies.
Yeah, so I was, because everybody didn't have 60 cents. So I would go to the store and I would buy like 2 bags of donut holes. I would buy like $1 worth of donut holes, and then I would be in the coat room counting my 6 cents, like getting 6 cents and passing out donut holes. And then Miss Thomas busted me and told me that I could not resell donut holes in the coat room.
Okay. So if you guys remember pencil popping back in the day, my grandparents had a meat market, and it was a store, but it was really a meat market. But they had a section where they sold packages of pencils. So I would get a couple packs of pencils, and instead of me pencil popping with the students, I would go to school and sell them for $0.25 a piece.
So
a little bit better than 6 cents.
I mean, well,
no, but I get it. It's still
it was a profit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Look, entrepreneurs, you're not always gonna make 100% or 50% on your money.
You right about that?
So I made a little bit of a profit, but our point being is that even though those are very low entry things. So if you see your kids, like, don't always see your kids trying to cheat somebody, right? Your kid may just be showing some entrepreneurial characteristics, and we have to
root them on
and put them in the right direction.
So okay. What was next?
So Corey, then you went and became a different type of entrepreneur.
Oh yeah, I was a weed man for a long time. I don't know the age, but it was some years. Yeah, I was a high level cannabis dealer, and that didn't turn out too well, but that was part of my journey. It
didn't turn out. So would you say you had like employees, like you had a whole little operation?
I moved from bags to weight. So yeah, I would say I had a couple of people that should have been 1099.
And look, oh my goodness. As we were like writing down our life, and luckily, Corey actually, let's just thank the Lord he here with us today, because things had went left at one point.
It did.
But what we were talking about was how many guys in the hood would be amazing. Like, how many Jeff Bezos do we really have those characteristics? It's just that the product they push in is a different product, but just totally savvy. Like, we were just watching BMF. Oh. Them dudes were brilliant. Yeah, they were. Brilliant. But if they would have had a different product or different opportunities, to channel that in a different direction. So, I mean, we wanted to be honest and transparent. So, yes. Okay, so Corey started selling weed. Yeah. Then he came back. No more, and I'm happy to say that when it was over, it was over. Yeah. Never came back. Okay, so then our next entrepreneur effort, we even wrote them all down to try to figure it out. So one time I went over to my aunt Gigia house, right, on the west side. And my mom used to go over there and play cards. And when I hadn't been over there with her for a long time, and at this time I was probably like 19 to 20. Y'all, I went there and my aunt had a full-blown candy store. Yeah. I mean, she was selling tacos out her house. So I was so intrigued, like, okay, so where'd you get this stuff from? Like, what'd you do? I was up and running a candy store in my mama's basement within about 7 days.
It was juking too.
It was juking. Yeah. And honestly, that's when Corey told me, because we were dating at that time, you was like, that's when I knew you would be my wife.
Yeah. I knew you knew how to hustle, man. And then I slid in some firecrackers. Yeah, firecrackers and M80s, skyrockets.
And that's when my candy store business blew up, because there was a lady that was like, you can't be down there selling firecrackers. So then I had to shut down my whole nacho business down.
Yeah, I kind of went overboard.
You went overboard. Okay. So then we had the candy store, and from there was your first taste of real estate investing.
Yeah, 4338 South Princeton, 2 flat. I picked up, it was a rental property. My first one that I bought, and I bit the book.
I don't mean to cut you off, but was that your first property? Did you own a property before you moved out and bought a house? I can't remember.
No, my first property was my condo in Parker River Oaks. I paid $36,000 for it, lived in it for a year, and I sold it for $51,000. And I was in love.
Yep. So then that's like the first time Corey started investing in real estate. So y'all following us first. Donut holes, pencil popping, weed man, candy store. Now we get our first taste of real estate.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when we're in real estate, Corey had a partner who was he was a football player.
Yeah.
He was with the NFL. And we went to go visit him. And when we went to go visit him, we went to a mall, and that mall had these dog tags. You probably have seen them, dog tags with people's picture on them. And then we bought a dog.
We bought an engraving machine for like $3,500. And in about a month, we were set up in Orland Mall.
Yeah, we were in the mall selling dog tags.
Once again, juking.
Selling dog tags until we weren't juking.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the story of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were selling those dog tags. Corey was still investing, and at the time, I was wrapping up college to become a teacher. Okay, so I'm wrapping up college to become a teacher. Let's just say I graduated, and then you decided you were going to go to do a different part of real estate. Do you remember this one?
Yeah, that's when I started wholesaling before I knew what wholesaling was. Me and my cousin Andre, we had my mentor Bill Duggan. Actually, he used to get properties. Let's just say he paid $40,000 for a house and he wanted to sell it for $80,000. Well, he would give it to me for $80,000 and I would go sell it for $85,000. And we thought what we were doing was halfway illegal. So on the phone, we would call it the 5,000. We would call it a Whopper, right? And then we started getting like 1 or 2 Whoppers a month. And we said, we can sell it for $90,000. So we started calling it Whopper with cheese on the phone, because that was me and Andre's code talk. So that was my first start into wholesale.
Yeah, and that was back, y'all, when anybody could buy a house.
Yeah,
I think I bought like a $300,000 house when I was working at daycare.
Stated income, stated assets.
It was a reason there was a recession.
Yeah,
okay.
So sure.
After he's doing that, but then you also went to appraisal school.
I got my appraiser's license, never did an appraisal. I got my loan officer's license, hired an assistant. Did I have anything? Oh, did I get my realtor's license, right?
You were in realtor school then.
Well,
I don't know if
I sent you to get your realtor's license.
I got my realtor's license. So short known fact, a lot of people don't know, or if you do, I was not I have been licensed as a realtor full time since 2017, but I had a short stint as a real estate agent in Chicago. But I was God bless anybody who I helped, because for the most part, I got licensed to do Corey, to list Corey's properties.
Sell my flips, yeah.
I was really just gonna be his personal open door, his personal the type of brokerages that I don't endorse right now.
Right.
That's what I was doing for him. So I just had my license for that. So then, now wait, let's just pause. Do y'all notice a theme? Is it a straight line that we're going through? It's like up and down, up and down. Yeah. And I want to say with most of these businesses, we probably hadn't broke 6 figures for the year.
Not yet.
No. We're so far we're talking about maybe a 5 or so year span.
Yeah.
So after that, Corey was like, we got to find a way to get this .com money.
Because I don't know if anybody knows what surfing is. I can't even explain it. I was introduced to a company called 12 Daily Pro. I invested like $12,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not happy about that one.
Yeah. Well, can I give some feedback?
Yeah, go ahead. I just don't remember how it went. I just know it was called surfing.
So Corey he was like, we got to get into this. This is like when people may start making money online. This is probably right during dial-up internet.
This is early 2000s.
Yeah, we're not even high speed. So he we need to start making money online. So, he found this company called Surfing.
No, it's called 12 Daily Pro.
12 Daily Pro, and you were surfing. What he didn't tell me was that the first time we saved $15,000, he put $12,000 of it in 12 Daily Pro.
I went all in. You said it all the time. I'd rather bet and lose than not bet at all, right?
So side note, y'all know how sometimes I say I was not on board with his entrepreneur efforts. It's because of stuff like that.
She wasn't on board with that.
I'm like, we just need to go get some jobs. This is just stressful. We done all this stuff. And then homie done lost our $12,000.
I got it right back though.
It did? Okay. I'm going to
I tried to sound cool. Took a couple months. Right. What's next, girl?
Okay. Then the market crash.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we got married. That's when the market crashed. So guess what? No more real estate.
No more real estate.
Yeah.
But pivot, went straight into the barber college.
Nope. No, you didn't.
What I do?
You don't remember? This is when we figured out that we could work together.
Okay.
This is the beginning of...
this was it right here. Your boy. So I started jumping on the plane every Tuesday morning at 6:05. I was off the plane about 8:50 in New York. in Chinatown, cash money, going through. I don't know, man. It was just I was buying purses, buying and selling purses. We was in business.
We was buying purses.
We had purse parties.
Watches.
We had a credit card machine. We had 3-4 parties a week. We was probably doing about
this is when Apple bottom jogging suits was out. Like we was selling clothes,
wallets. We was hustling. Anytime you saw me, you popped my trunk. I had big garbage bags full of purse. I'm telling you, this was a successful business.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah.
But,
we had about a 2-year run though.
So I'm gonna tell you, like for most of the stuff that we are describing, I wish I could just morph us back to that because we're telling it now like, ha, ha, ha. Like, no, it was not. We weren't on the same page. Even though we were doing stuff together, the dog tags, I'm fussing the whole time. We do not need to be doing this.
And I'm hustling.
I don't want to be a realtor. But the purses was the first time that we were engaging with people and selling the product and working off of each other. Yeah. And it was like, oh, we got a little chemistry. We was already married, but like, oh, this might work.
We literally were going to New York on Tuesday morning. We would get off the plane.
I was terrified.
She would be scared, but we had a Suburban, and the same guy picked us up every single time. By 1:00, we would be done with all of our shopping. We would go get some Chinese food.
Oh, not we.
I would eat that Chinese food.
Okay. Entrepreneurship is not easy, y'all. Listen. So Corey and his cousin, they would go and do this run. I've only done it with them like once or twice because I was teaching.
I was going every week.
And they keep telling me about, oh, the Chinese food is just delicious. Oh, New York Chinese food. We go to this spot after remember, I really don't want to do this. I sell the purses, but I don't want to go get the product. And going to get the product was like going into a drug house. They would take you in a secret room. You have to crawl under there to find like the counterfeit stuff. So they then take me after this just really long, crazy day to this Chinese food place.
I'm talking Chinatown. The one where you got the dead ducks hanging in the window.
Ducks or cats? The jury is still out on what it was in the window.
All right.
So then, so we running around all day. So him and his cousin, they cool as a feather. They just go, they sit down at the table. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom first.
Yeah.
Let's just say when I went in the bathroom, I was like, I would never eat out of here. They dog walking the food. They come here every week and it was disgusting.
Well, she didn't like it because the food came up from the basement.
The food came up from the basement. Yeah. I also didn't like it because I saw boo-boo stains in the bathroom.
I didn't see no boo-boo stains.
Yes, on the towel. Anyway, I was in the girls' bathroom. You were in the boys'.
Okay.
Anyway, I was not eating there and that was a business. It was a successful business, so much that we bought a house stated.
And thought that we would pay the mortgage from selling purses. Yeah.
Until we couldn't.
No.
Okay.
Another closed business.
Yeah, another closed business. So then you
had a good run with that one though. We had a good run with that.
It was a good run. Those purse parties used to be popular. Hey, comment below if you ever bought a purse from us. Like, you know what, that Fendi spy bag?
Right.
That was our top seller, boy. We used to get $200 for the Fendi spy bag. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Then Corey decided that he was going to have a stint with going to the auction.
Oh man, I forgot about that. Yeah, so I was selling cars for a minute. Sold a few too. Didn't do bad either. I didn't sell like 50, but I probably sold a good 10 or 12.
Yep. Yeah, y'all. So here we go. All right.
Still going.
And guess what? I'm only halfway through the list. So there's that. Okay. So sold some cars. Starting to get a little stable, and then we had an opportunity to open a daycare.
Open the daycare.
A full daycare. A full like fully furnished. We had partnership, fully furnished. Went through all the state accreditation. Yeah. I remember calling my mama crying to beg to borrow money when she didn't give it to me. Then I was like, well, nobody support me. And here's a side note. You can't be mad if other people, like if you want to take a risk and be an entrepreneur,
they don't support your dream.
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily supporting, but you can't depend on them to do it, right? Especially, in my opinion, especially people who are not in an entrepreneur space themselves, right? Yeah. You cannot expect somebody to save their 401k, even your parent to save their whole life for a rainy day. And look at our list of businesses, and at this point, we're like, you don't want to give me $20? It's okay, right? It's okay. Carry on.
So what was that? Daycare.
That was the daycare.
Didn't work. I think, is it barber college time?
It's barber college time.
Okay, so I wound up opening up the barber college September 1st, 2009. Let's just say my license wasn't, I hadn't even take the test yet before I signed the lease.
Yep.
Right? But I knew that one was going to work.
He knew that one was going to work. And I will say that up until this point, this is a marriage point. Up until this point, I was not supportive. Now, I was not supportive because I really, this was probably the start of me just starting to do some mindset work. I read the book Who Will Cry When You Die, just thinking about being positive. But also our track record was a little raggedy.
Yeah.
So I always tell y'all like, hey, I was not always on board, but I had some reasons to not be on board, which is why the fact that that God allows us to do what we do right now is such a blessing.
Yeah.
Because the track record really, it's a lot of people that if we would have got divorced because we weren't on the same page, somebody was just like, it makes too much. It makes sense. They didn't do too much.
Right.
Work out.
Yeah.
So barber
college, still cracking, still on it to this day. It's been an amazing venture. We moved here and partnered with Larry.
Oh, but before you moved here, you did something else during the barber.
Before we moved to Texas? What? Trucking? What?
Spoiler alert, he had a truck.
I had 2 trucks.
Spoiler alert, he had a trucking company.
Yeah.
Gold.
Oh, okay. So she laughing, but gold was a great one. Still is to this day. One of my mentors taught me how to buy and sell gold. I had the scale, I had the acid. I knew 10 from 14 to 24. And I bought a lot of gold. I bought a whole lot of gold.
Listen, we could not go to a picnic. Like if you was at a picnic and your grandma was there, he'll be like, "Hey, Granny."
100%.
Hey, Granny, them real dolphins in your ear.
Let me check them out.
Let me check them out.
I was buying stuff on the spot.
I'll give you 400 right now for your dolphins. Granny be like, "For real?" I mean, yeah.
Gold was a great one. It still is to this day. I still have the knowledge. And I made a lot of money buying and selling gold.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, here we go again. Yeah. All right. And then you went back to flipping. So barber college, so you tracking with us. I'm teaching. Barber college is still going. He's selling gold a little bit. And then he comes back to me and he's like, hey, I want to go back into real estate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. So all I did was just parlay the money. Instead of just sitting on it, I took a lot of money that I was making at the barber school and started flipping houses in Chicago. So that was spot on.
Yeah, and he just saying it so like blasé, but let's just be honest, right? Hey, y'all ever had church hurt? Like, or like if you burn your hand on an iron or burn your hand on the stove and you're like every time you're just gonna move with caution. So the part that we kind of glazed over, I know we've shared this with y'all before, is that when the market crashed, we lost a lot. Right.
Yeah. All 7 houses when the market crashed.
And had to rebuild, like we're really in a bad way with our own house.
So what she's saying is when I decided to get back in real estate,
I was like,
why? If the school is working, just cut hair and run the school. And I was like, no.
But and this is what I'll tell y'all, because there was probably maybe a 7 to almost 10-year gap in between like when you were rolling with real estate to when you got your first deal again. And the first deal when he came back into real estate was a horrible deal.
It was terrible.
But he was so excited. Like I saw a fire, I saw a vigor, I saw an excitement in him that even though he had, everything else was a way to make money. And yes, real estate is definitely a way to make money, but he loves the art of the deal. I
could
see, I could see a different. Yeah, I can see a different.
I'm very, very passionate about real estate.
Yeah, he's very passionate, which is why it works for him. So now we back to flipping, and then we decide to everybody, okay, we're gonna move to Texas.
Yeah. And
when we moved to Texas, he decided he was gonna be a master barber.
I mean, I'm excellent at cutting hair, so I thought that I would do it here in Texas. And I went to a friend of mine's barbershop and I was sitting there. And
first you went to the mall and passed out. He would pass out.
Well, yeah, I was trying to build a clientele.
Yeah,
I was trying to build a clientele.
Hey, I'm Corey Lewis, master barber from Chicago.
Yeah,
I'm Corey Lewis, master barber.
And then I went to my guy's shop and I just sat there and he was making like $30 at a time. And I'm like, this money just coming too slow. It's just not going to work for me. I was still flipping in Chicago. And the money just, it wasn't for me. My heart wasn't in it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we was ready to be all set up. So, because now I'm supportive, right? Like, hey, come on, Master Barbara.
Right.
And it was a no.
It was over, yeah.
It was a no. So here we are. We find ourselves here. I am teaching. Corey is figuring it out. Like, you really, like, everybody at the daycare thought you were, they thought you were in the NBA. And really just didn't know we were here, but you really didn't have a whole lot of direction.
I didn't have anything to do. I was chilling all day, going to the gym and chilling, and just kind of monitoring the flips back in Chicago from the phone.
Until they were not.
Right.
Because the flips in Chicago flopped.
Yeah.
We learned it as, at least at that time, it was kind of hard to.
It's hard to manage a crew if you're not there to watch the crew.
And it's kind of hard when you go real aggressive. He can be really. He was real aggressive.
Yeah, I
at
had 17 houses going at one time.
Yeah,
so,
and
yeah.
So then, then my boo decided that he was going to become a realtor. We even went to Keller Williams Christmas party.
We did. I had on a. This is when I met. What's the realtor? I can't.
Don't name him. Don't name nobody.
But yeah, I went to
JCPenney. We went to JCPenney.
I had a velvet
on my mama credit
burgundy
card.
blazer on at the Christmas party, and
we kicked it. So like y'all, Corey joined Keller Williams on December 15th. We went to that Christmas party about December 21st. Kicked it so hard. He left Keller Williams about January 3rd.
Yeah, I was done. I didn't want to be a realtor. I wanted to go back to the investment side. That's what I know. That's what I love, and I had no desire to be a realtor.
Okay, I would fast forward. So then, y'all know the rest of the story. He goes back into investing here, and then Rosemary comes on as a real estate agent in 2017. And from there, we have just been able to do some other businesses, and one of them is be with y'all on this podcast for Eagle Talk.
Yeah, so that was our journey. Sorry to take y'all down the street and around the block, over the building, left, right, sideways.
No, but this is why we did that, though, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, I know that we hear it all the time. Folks are like, they think like, oh my God, you guys met in high school, you fell in love, it's been wonderful, you've always been supportive, you've always made 7 figures. And no, it has not been that. It has been raggedy. It has been like it has been so jacked up, but it has been worth it.
It's been a journey of lessons along the way.
Yeah.
It has brought us closer together.
Yeah.
And I think we're more optimistic about our future because we know what we can do.
Well, and we know what we've been through. And here's one thing. There's a book that I read before, and the way that I think about it is that nothing is wasted. God does not waste any of your experiences or any of your talents. So I think back to like the way that Corey and I would communicate and vibe with the women at the purse parties. That's the same way we vibe with y'all with Eagle Talk. And if we didn't have that experience of, having conversations, connecting, playing off of each other, we wouldn't be able to be before you today.
Yeah.
So if you are in an entrepreneurial space and you are just like, this is raggedy, I'm fed up, I don't know. First of all, keep going.
Yeah, keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Figure out what you're passionate about. We tried a whole lot of stuff before we landed on something that we're really passionate about. And passion far exceeds money. A lot of those things were making money. Everything didn't crash when we stopped it.
Right.
But it wasn't purposeful. It didn't align with who we were. It didn't serve us. It didn't allow us to serve others. So it didn't make sense. And what we get to do now makes sense.
Totally.
And we hope that you all can get that too.
Yeah. This was great. We just aired our dirty laundry. But it's cool. Because we're helping somebody. I don't know how many. But if we get one, we did good.
Yep. All right, y'all. So we will see you next week because we are going to just keep talking about, we're going to share with you just some tips on why we think, one thing that we think every couple should do at least once a year. That's what we're going to talk about next week. All right. Bye, y'all.
Peace.